Live here from Palm Springs Stadium, coming in on a 2-2 count to Malcolm Smith, the center fielder, and leadoff man for the British Columbia Bombers, Josh Sperber and Mitchell Glessner. As these two teams were just raring to go today, starting 5 minutes earlier than they were planning to on the field. And the Bombers are facing a guy with some serious big league talent on the mound, Kevin Lennox, the right-hander out of Mission Hills, California, who gets Malcolm Smith to wave and whip for strike three. First out of the game is a strikeout for the guy who has been up to the AAA level in two different systems. And Mitch, this guy pitched last week for the A's and absolutely shoved in a short time.
Yeah, like you mentioned, he's been to AAA for a couple of different organizations, the Kansas City Royals and the Boston Red Sox. Comes in with a huge frame. He is a reliever typically, but he's getting some early work as a starter out here in the CWL. Big fastball, mid-90s. He'll run it up to about 97, 98 when he really wants to. A slider and a changeup to complement the fastball, but he'll heavily rely on that fastball, trying to get some reps here at the CWL, and hopefully looking to sign with a team as spring training is just right around the corner.
Now we will talk more about Kevin Lennox, but first we're going to set the lineup for both squads. Malcolm Smith led off for the Bombers and played center field, as Brett Donaty fouls that one back to make it a 1-1 count. Donaty is playing third base, and Jacob Cruz will follow him up in the lineup at the DH spot. He had his fifth home run of the season the last time the Bombers played. Felix Aberrant is the backstop and batting fourth. Blake Freeman playing in right field and batting fifth. Griffin Schneider playing in left, batting sixth. There's a swing and a miss. Comes in from Brett Donaty, 1-2 count, as he can't handle Kevin Lennox's fastball. Batting seventh is Andrew Caulfield. He's playing at first, but moving around to the infield by Tom Vaith. Keyshawn Clark batting eighth and playing second, and batting ninth, Clifford Pratt playing his customary shortstop position. Slider misses high, ball two, count 2-2 to Brett Donaty. We'll set the defense behind Kevin Lennox. From left to right in the outfield, it's Dejard Kimbrough, Messiah Fukuda in center, and Tavis Brunson in right. Chris O'Neill at third, Walker Paz at short, as that one's fouled away by Donaty. Count is 2-2 still. Eddie McKay back at second, Colton Kendrick at first, and Josh Hines is the battery mate of Kevin Lennox. He struck out two batters of the five that he faced last time he pitched for the A's, just last week against the Jacks. An inning and two-thirds, two strikeouts, did not walk a batter, did allow one hit. So a solid first five batters face as Donaty sends this one in foul territory down the right field line, and that'll drift past the training temp. Count remains 2-2.
This will be a real treat today, Josh, for me, especially trying to look at some of these Bombers hitters, engaging where they're at progression-wise, talent-wise, if they're ready to take that next step to minor league baseball. This is a good test. You'll see him against a pitcher here in Lennox who has pitched quality innings at the minor league level.
And we mentioned he has been to AAA in two different systems, and he's a treat for the players to have here as well. Not so much for the Bombers today, though. 2 up, 2 down via the strikeout as Brett Donaty is caught looking at a breaking ball on the outside corner. But he is good for the guys to have around because he was signed into the minor leagues out of the California Winter League back in 2016. He played here in Palm Springs Stadium, and he was signed by the Texas Rangers just about a week after this season ended. And then he was up there for spring training, started in Hickory, which was their A-ball team back then. He's got a tough hitter, a right-on left matchup to Jacob Cruz, the designated hitter, who hits that one on a couple of hops at Colton Kendrick. He's going to flip to Lennox, steps on the bag for out number 3. So Lennox and the A's go 1-2-3. 1-2-3 on the Bombers, and they'll come up to bat next. a 1-2-3 inning from Kevin Lennick and another Kevin. Kevin Curley will have to follow suit for the Bombers. He takes the hill for his second start of the season. Primarily been used in late game situations, but he's been a consistently strong pitcher for the Bombers this year. 10 appearances, only his second start, ERA of 2.1. In 13 and a third innings pitch, he struck out 15 and gets Kimbrough to foul it off. Looks like he fouled it off his own leg as he gets a little bit of a limp back to the box. So an 0-1 count to Desjard Kimbrough, who bats first and will play in left field. And I'll take you through the Canada A's lineup to start off this game against the first-place Bombers. Messiah Fukuda is in the on-deck circle playing in center field. Travis Brunson out in right, batting third. Chris O'Neill, the cleanup man, and he's playing third base as Curley deals, misses, and it hits him. Looks like that was going to go over the head of Kimbrough because he ducked and instead bounces right above the number on his back. So first runner on base for the A's with nobody away as will continue through the lineup. Fukuda up to the plate now. Colton Kendrick is the number 5 hitter for the A's. He's playing first. Eddie McCabe back with Canada, playing second base and batting 6th. Walker Paz, the shortstop, is batting 7th as Fukuda swings and misses at strike 1. Breaking ball in the dirt from Curley. Connor Donahue, the designated hitter, will bat 8th, and Joshua Hines rounds out the owner as he is flip-flopping between the A's and the Chill. Catching for the A's and batting 9. Kimbrough heads for second. The fastball's in on the outside corner for strike 1. And Desjard Kimbrough is in at second base with a stolen base. That's his second of the season. That's good for third on the A's roster.
How about the pick by Pratt, too, to keep the ball from going into center field? Pratt has really picked up in the last 2 or 3 games as one of the standout guys for this Bombers squad. And
that is saying quite a lot as the Bombers lead the league with a 10-3 record, and certainly standouts are not hard to come by on this squad. As we take a look at the Bombers defense, with Pratt at shortstop, we'll start at the infield. At third base is Brett Donady. Pratt playing short, Keyshawn Clark at second, Andrew Caulfield at first base as a fastball misses outside, even up the count 2-2 to Messiah Fukuda. In the outfield, left to right, Griffin Schneider, Malcolm Smith in center, Blake Friedman in right field, and the hard-hitting Felix Aberrant is the battery mate of Kevin Curley on the bump. 2-2. Hit on the ground, right to shortstop, back to second goes Kimbrough. Pratt looks at him anyway, fires to first for the out. So one away here in the bottom half of the first inning as they're at the routine play by Clifford Pratt.
I know it's routine, but Pratt there showing off the arm strength, and again, just these last couple of games, he's really emerged as a guy that you look at with tremendous upside. A guy like that who works at bats, he battles, he'll work it at 3 balls normally. He likes to work walks, but as of late showing some pop in his bat and good defense as well.
Just 2 errors on the season for Pratt as that one bounces high in front of the plate, but rolls foul for Travis Brunson. Looks like it bounced behind the plate. So it's an 0-1 count to Brunson. And Pratt, the defense was always there. He always looked pretty smooth at shortstop. There's rarely going to be a fielder in any level of baseball that's going to go a whole season without an error or 2. But Pratt has looked good at shortstop, but you're absolutely right, Mitch, and I think it's because at the plate, his development has really shown these last couple of games, and I think it's because Tom Baith moved him later in the lineup. He was hitting second for most of the start of the year as Brunson takes another pitch on the outside corner, count 0-2.
Yeah, he looks really natural at shortstop, just the way he works around the baseball. So far this year, he does have 2 errors, but a solid 92% on the fielding percentage. So he looks really natural at short, just the way that he works around the ball and that strong arm to highlight at the shortstop position.
Brunson holds up his swing on a pitch in the dirt. Appeal to the plate umpire says he did not go, which was the right call. So 1-2 count to Travis Brunson. And I was talking to Pratt yesterday, who really just is so humble about how much his hitting has improved. And we were joking about the difference between the 2 home runs that he has hit. That walk-off just kind of kept carrying out of there, but the one he hit in the last game was a no-doubter. Hit on the ground sharply, and that's going to roll into right field for a base hit for Travis Brunson. Bobbled in right by Freeman, and that's going to allow Desjard Kimbrough to score easily on the play. So it's an RBI single for Tavis Brunson, and the A's jump out to an early 1-0 lead.
Brunson just hitting that ball hard there, and we even failed to mention Tavis is out there with the different bat. He was one that was always using the strike bat, and I believe he was using the different one there, Josh, and it worked in his favor. A hard hit through the right side, the good pull power from Tavis Brunson, and they're on the board here early.
I think it might be the first time I didn't look at his bat. The ball taking a close look at Chris O'Neill's bat as he smacks that into left center field for a base hit. Attacking the first pitch is O'Neill, and 2 straight singles put 2 runners on for the A's. I guess next time that Brunson gets up to bat, I'm going to have to take a closer look at that bat because I saw it. I saw him carrying it around in his bat bag, took it out, showed me it. Looks really cool, but we'll get a deeper description the next time he comes to the plate. Now coming to the plate is Colton Kendrick, first baseman. Shown off some home run power, but the average has not been there as you would expect for a guy with his resume as Kendrick takes strike 1. Kendrick 269 on the season, 7 for 26. He has hit 1 of each of the extra base hits, a double, a triple, and a homer, and 5 RBIs. He's got in a good spot here with 2 runners on and a speedy Tavis Brunson in scoring position as he takes strike 2 again. Another fastball in the outside corner for Curley. And you're talking about a guy who relies on his fastball. That is Kevin Curley, no doubt. One of the hardest throwers here in the Cal Winter League this season. Curley takes a glance at second, deals the 0-2, hit off the end of the bat, but foul from Colton Kendrick. Count will remain 0-2. Talked a lot about Kendrick's experience with the Elizabethton Twins, the Appalachian League champions back in 2017. Played with C.J. Broussard, a guy who was also now in the California League, a later edition. And that one is drilled down the right field line. If it's fair, it's trouble, but it's going to bounce foul and out of play. Kendrick coming off of a solid season in the Pioneer League with the Boise Hawks. Played in 29 games, had 100 at-bats. Hit .260 with a slugging percentage of .380, on base .370. 2 homers, 17 RBIs, and 6 doubles for the Boise Hawks, where the DH on the other team, Jacob Cruz, is expected to be heading after this season. The 0-2 pitch, outside, first ball to Kendrick, count 1-2. Kendrick staying patient. 3-year vet of the Twins minor league system. Hit 193 in those 3 years. 2 years in the Gulf Coast League, 1 in the Appalachian League. He was a champion. Guys like Akil Baddoo, Brustar Gratterall. Swing and a miss there. High fastball gets Kendrick down. First strikeout of the day for Kevin Curley, and a big out number 2 as the A's still have 2 runs.
Kevin Curley is going to have to work through some early adversity here, and he's got some big shoes to fill after Luke Drummond yesterday. A complete game shutout, 10 strikeouts for the Bombers starter. So Curley trying to build off of that shutout win that they had yesterday. Good start here with the strikeout, although he is in some trouble. He'll have to work around a good hitter in McCabe to try and get out of this thing.
And McCabe, 4 RBI on the year. 3 of his 6 hits have gone for extra bases. Solid gap-to-gap hitter. Good fielder, primarily in the middle infield, but can play third as well. And shows an interesting pitching motion a couple of times he's gotten on the mound. Played with a chill his last time out, where he threw an inning, did not let up a run in that frame. Pitch high, ball 2. Another fastball from Kevin Curley, and that's mostly what we've seen from him today. As many relievers usually do. He mixes his pitches, but when he sees his go-to pitch, that is the one that he throws a lot. You see guys like Mo Rivera with a cutter following that same MO in the major leagues. That is drilled down the right field line and just tailing foul.
Yeah, Curley will bring a 4-seamer. He says that he throws a sinker as well. Circle changeup and a slider, although it looks more like a curveball than a slider, but he labels it as such. So he'll work here with 2 down, trying to build around that strikeout on Colton Kendrick. Eddie McCabe, always a tough at-bat, though, and in a hitter's count here, though.
2-1 the count to him. Runner on each bag, Brunson on second, and Chris O'Neill on first as a curveball gets in there for strike two. McCabe looking at a pitch right down Broadway and just catching the knees. Solid 2-1 pitch from Curley, who hangs his arm down as he awaits the sign. Curley checking again on Brunson, sending in the 2-2 pitch, and that is hit on a line into right field for a base hit. That is definitely going to load the bases, but Brunson's not stopping there. He's on his way home, a beautiful throw, and that is going to get Tavis Brunson. Blake Freeman with the cannon to end the inning and keep the lead to just 1-0. The A's still strike, leave 2 on the bases, and a brilliant throw by the Bombers' right fielder holds the rally at just 1-0. So a run on 3 hits for the Canada A's, and they'll head into the second with the A's leading 1-0. So a 1-2-3 inning in the first for Kevin Lennox, but against a lineup like the Bombers, that's not always a good thing. It means you have to face 4, 5, 6 in the next inning. Always a dangerous part of this British Columbia order, and it's Felix Aberrett, Blake Freeman, and Griffin Schneider due up to face the former AAA ball player. No problems yet. A slider, nasty pitch on a low outside corner gets Aberrett swinging for strike one. Aberrett probably hits the ball harder than anyone in this league. And we'll see if he can make contact here. Another slider, this one just missing on that outside corner. Lennox really liking that inside-out slider on right-handed hitters. Lennox in his stretch. Ready for the 1-1 pitch. Hit high in the air out to shallow left field. Walker Paz and Kimbrough chasing it. Pod can't find it, but Kimbrough can, losing his hat in the process, but making the one-handed squeeze for out number one.
Lennox actually probably got away with one there. He tripled up on the slider. Aberrett was well aware that it was coming, and he just missed that one. So Aberrett there was one step ahead of Lennox, but just able to get out of it with just the high pop-up instead of a moonshot that it would have been.
Yeah, got a little underneath that big league pop-up, but big league pop in the bat of Aberrett. Here's the hero from last inning, Blake Freeman, who sends it out to deeper in left field, a couple steps in front of the warning track. It's Kimbrough again who makes the catch for the second out. So Kevin Lennox is efficiently mowing through these Bomber hitters. Just 4 pitches in the first 2 batters.
And that's what you would fully expect. Obviously, a guy that's pitched all the way up to AAA, just shy of getting up into the show. And, yep, he's just making it look easy. Just another day on the job for him.
So 2 fly outs, 2 outs, and that'll bring up Griffin Schneider, right-handed hitter, playing in left field today as he sends that one to the top of the net. Foul ball. There was a guy going in the A's bullpen, but pulled out of there by Paul Noce, so that could mean Lennox is getting another inning. The guy who has played in the Red Sox and Royals system. Got enough to Pawtucket, now Worcester. That one's fouled away. Count 0-2. And he also played in Omaha, the AAA affiliate of the Royals, the Storm Chasers. So he's really been around. 2 systems, 2 AAA. When the Royals signed him from the Rangers, they promoted it immediately to Omaha. Shows the kind of promise that this guy has. 0-2 pitch. Hit on the ground, right to shortstop. Fielded on a pair of hops by Paz, who fires across the diamond. 4 out, number 3. So another quick 1-2-3 for Kevin Lennick. And the A's are looking good. 1-0 as they come to bat again at the bottom of the second. Coming back to the plate after scoring a run in the first inning. Kyle Johnson set to make his first appearance as he is warming up in the A's bullpen right now, but they will begin with the bottom third of the order here. Walker Paz, Connor Donahue, and Joshua Hines to face Kevin Curley. First pitch to Paz is high, ball 1. Another fastball from the big right-hander. Next pitch, in there, strike 1. Fastball just catching that outside corner right at the letters for Walker Paz.
Curley worked through some issues in the first, trying to have a cleaner inning here in the second. Paz has been slumping at the plate, just trying to figure out any way to get aboard. And a good hitter's count here, though. Curley only giving up the 1 run. Again, he did work through some troubles in the first, though.
2-1 pitch fouled away by Paz, evening up the count at 2-2 and making a souvenir for any fans in those left field stands. Like he went right over the fence to the A's dugout.
Yeah, it looks like we have a decent amount of fans today. I think we had a little bit more yesterday, actually. Usually around the midweek here on Hump Day, they'll start pouring in a little bit more as the week progresses along.
So the count runs full to Walker Paz now. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Still no one on base as Paz is the leadoff hitter. Not seeing much of a lefty shift. If anyone, maybe the second baseman Keyshawn Clark, but standard infield depth as Paz grounds that up the middle past the diving Clifford Pratt in there for base hit number 4 for these Canada A's. A leadoff single by Paz, and the A's have put the leadoff runners on in both innings.
And there's the broadcaster's curse, too. If Pratt is shifted over, that's right at him there in the hole on the middle. Which we've seen as of late. I believe it has been the A's who have done a lot of the shifting defensively, the chill as well. So we'll see if they're able to do that as this game progresses along.
I'll bring up the DH, Connor Donahue, a catcher primarily, but just getting batting duties today as the breaking ball is pumped in there by Curley for strike one. Playing Josh Hines, and Colton Traeger will come in for him later today, so just DH in Connor Donahue's time at the plate today. 1 for 17 on the season, 2 RBIs. Hit high in the air down the right field line, giving chase into foul territory as the first baseman Caulfield will let that bounce out of play to make the count 0-2.
Action in the bullpen for the A's, so Kevin Lennox Day likely done, and they bring in another new arm, new to the CWL. It'll be Kyle Johnson who is getting his warm-up tosses down there.
Another guy with some minor league experience. We'll definitely go into that in the next inning, but Kevin Curley's on the hill here. Sends in the 0-2. Breaking ball just at the knees of Donahue. Gets him looking. Strikeout number 2 for the Bombers, and a first out in the bottom half of the second.
Curley has looked good on his strikeouts, a pair of them now. The other batters, though, on the singles, he's looked shaky, and the A's have made some good solid contact. So the A's, they're bound to put a complete game together. So far this year, they have struggled last in the standings.
So I'll bring up the number 9 hitter as he takes strike one. Haas steals second base. The ball bounces off the glove of Keyshawn Clark. Joshua Hines down in the count 0-1. And a stolen base for Walker Paz. That's 7 for him on the year. That leads the A's team. So an 0-1 count to Hines. He now has a runner in scoring position who's already showcased his good speed. 0 on the count, 1 on, 1 out for the A's. Quick look at second base, and Curley fires home. Gets the fastball just to miss outside. Looked like he might have caught the plate. Just off of the black there was Curley. 1-1 count to Josh Hines.
Cam Roth and Stan Clyburn talking to Lennox down there after his days of work. Just kind of commands that presence. Was talking to Justin Retschke. He runs everything out here for the California Winter League, him and Andrew Starkey, and talking about the presence that Lennox commands.
That's drilled right to shortstop, though. Pratt picks it up off the dirt and fires it to first base for out number 2.
Yeah, and Justin was saying how when Lennox came in that first day, that was last week, how all of the players were like, who is this guy? And he just kind of has that presence, and most guys do. They more often than not will fit that physical mold. Everybody kind of has a certain look to them as far as guys that have played pro ball, usually a bigger frame like Lennox has, and just kind of walks around with that presence like he's been there, done that.
And he certainly has, but at 6'5", at 225, easy to draw the eyes of many rooms on you. Lennox, though, hasn't pitched in pro ball since 2019 after he elected free agency following his season with the Omaha Storm Chasers and the Pawtucket Red Sox. First pitch to Kimbrough, misses high, ball 1. He was hit by a pitch, stole a base, and scored in his only prior at bat. Kimbrough second on the team in hitting the ball 1/3 of his plate appearances, 6 for 18 with a run scored and an RBI. 1-0 pitch is hit right under the glove of Donovan at third for a base hit. Rounding third is Walker Paz. He will go home as the throw is not in time. Alvarette checks Kimbrough back to first base. It's an RBI single, and it's a 2-0 lead for the Canada A's.
Good hard hit there from Kimbrough, and just gets out in front and laces it into left field. Schneider actually with a pretty good throw from left, but just too late on it as he was playing back a little bit. And a run for the A's here, 2-0. Not something we're accustomed to seeing from their offense, but nonetheless.
And this one hit on the ground up the shortstop side for a base hit by Messiah Fukuda, ambushing the first pitch off the end of the bat, but getting the job done. The A's 6 base hits on the game so far, playing small ball, Mitch, and it's working.
Yeah, we're not accustomed to this kind of finishing off that last point. Most of their offense this year has pretty much been silent. They haven't really had a standout guy in their offense. And a lot of it, too, has been from the fact that they haven't gotten a lot of good starting efforts. So maybe with Lennox out here, giving them a good start, it kind of gives them some more confidence coming to bat on the offensive side.
And there's another base hit. Right up the middle goes Tavis Brunston, and the runners will try to advance. Makuta heading towards third. The throw skips by Donady as Kimbrough scores. Advancing to second on the air is Tavis Brunson. And Desjard Kimbrough will come in. So a 7th base hit for the A's, a second run of the second inning, and a 3-run lead overall.
Boy, we're just not really used to this, and they're stringing them together here. They're really building off one another. A lot of these hard hits on the ground as well, so maybe a change in approaches. They're not necessarily looking to lift the ball in the air. A lot of these ground ball base hits just barreled up off the bats of the A's.
So charge the air to Brett Donady as that throw was pretty well on the line from Malcolm Smith. His first pitch to Chris O'Neill misses outside for ball 1. Good change of pace. The last 2 batters attacked the first pitch. O'Neill taking the ball in his second at bat against Kevin Curley. He singled his last time up. 1-0 pitch. Sliced foul down the right field line going to the park next door.
This is a bullpen game for the Bombers with Curley getting the start. It would likely probably be Teroka to come in for some innings as well, should Curley continue to struggle here.
And Steve Bronek, our analytics coordinator, is back with us. 101 exit velocity on that base hit from Tavis Brunson. A hard ground ball up the middle. And now a 1-2 count to Chris O'Neill as he fouled that one back into the netting. 2 runners on, both in scoring position. 2 outs, a 1-2 count to Chris O'Neill. Future member of the Frontier League will be playing out in Quebec. As he'll approach the 1-2 pitch, wave and a whiff, strike 3. Kevin Curley gets him down swinging for the last out of the second inning, but 2 runs come home for the Canada A's. They strand 2 more on the bases, but a 3-0 lead against the top team in the league after 2.
Andrew Caulfield.
New pitcher on the hill for the Canada A's. Another guy at 6'5", another guy with minor league experiences, Kyle Johnson, who also moonlights as a center fielder, will make his first appearance in the California Winter League this season. 2 strong innings from Kevin Lennick. No hits, no runs, no walks. 2 strikeouts and a first pitch strike off the bat. A foul tip from Andrew Caulfield for strike 1. Kyle Johnson played his college ball at Purdue and then was signed into the Yankees system where he was for 2 seasons. And that one missed low. Count is 1-1. Starting the Gulf Coast League, played for the Staten Island Yankees, just 5 pitching appearances for them. Went back to the Gold League again before he was released in 2018. And that one is hit on the ground up to shortstop. Walker Paz charging for it, firing the first for out number 1. Walker Paz making that one look easy at shortstop. A ball hit up the middle on the shortstop side though, so he was right to make the play there. Made it a good one.
Keyshawn Clark.
Kyle Johnson, 28 years old, right-hander out of San Diego, California though. A local guy. A late addition to the Cal Winter League this season. His arms are at a premium, as is typically the case when you play baseball, as Keyshawn Clark steps into the batter's box. Fastball misses high, counts 1-0. Andrew Caulfield, one of the leading hitters in the Cal Winter League this season. 3 for 28, 7 RBIs, 2 walks, and 2 sac flies. That is ball 2 outside, and a new ball will be given to Kyle Johnson. Now Caulfield out on a ground ball, so 1 away here, and now it's Keyshawn Clark, who is 5 for 18 on the season. 2 of those 5 hits, though, did go for extra bases. 2-0 pitch is in there for strike 1. A fastball right down Broadway. And that heater looks like it has some serious zip on it from Kyle Johnson. 2-1 count to Clark. Bases are empty with 1 away. A's with a 3-0 lead. Johnson pitching from the stretch. Kicks and deals. Wave and a miss. Strike 2. As Keyshawn Clark was looking for something hard, found a breaking ball instead. So a 2-2 count. And Johnson a strike away from his first punch out of the Winter League season. Long pause, the 2-2. Fouled off the end of the bat and ricocheting right back to Kyle Johnson on the mound.
Boy, and we thought that Kevin Lennick had a commanding presence on the hill. My goodness, Kyle Johnson, listed as 6'5" on Baseball Reference. Looks like he's about 6'6", though. My goodness, big frame for the righty, who has a hounding fastball that'll zip in there.
2-2 pitch once again. Misses high, and that fastball looks really hard from Johnson.
Yeah, boy, we thought that Lennox fastball was for, my goodness, some sizzle on this puppy coming from Johnson.
Lennox looks like it averaged in the mid-90s. I think this one's hitting about 97 on the gun. Has another high fastball, just a bit too high. So that's ball 4 to the speedy Keyshawn Clark, and a 1-out walk brings up Clifford Pratt, the first base runner of the day for the Bombers. 2 perfect innings.
And you're going to see a plethora of fastballs between what Lennox did, which was primarily the fastball. He did work in the slider, but Kyle Johnson here, it looks like this is running 96, 97. I don't think we're going to see pretty much anything but that heater from him.
And we have a confirmed 97-mile-an-hour heater from Steve Bronack, and that is not something you see every day. 1-0 the count now to Pratt after the breaking ball misses in the dirt. And not a lot of guys are taking offers for this Kyle Johnson heater. A breaking ball in the dirt could be the chance for hitters to jump on it. 1-0 pitch. Johnson deals. Fouled high in the air down the first base line. Kendrick shading the sun, running towards the fence, and will crash into the netting as that ball bounces into the stands for a 1-strike, 1-ball count.
And we were talking, we wanted to see Pratt face off against Kevin Lennick, but Boy, this might even be a tougher matchup in Kyle Johnson. We'll see what Prad can do, as he has really shot up as far as his progression as we've moved along in the California Winter League. His talent really showing through here in the last couple of games.
His pitch averaging in closer to 98 miles an hour than 97. An average a little over 97.5 as the runner goes to Clark, but he went on a fastball. A bad throw gets away from Eddie McCabe, and it's a stolen base for Keyshawn Clark.
I'd venture to say that looked like maybe even 98. He's flirting with triple digits out there. It's only February. He's trying to heat the whole place up.
It was 70 degrees before Kyle Johnson started pitching. Now it's closer to 80. He is throwing absolute gas on the hill here. He's got a 2-1 count. Takes a look at Clark on second base. Back in his stretch. He deals. Chopped foul again. High, bouncing away from everyone else and rolling into the A's dugout.
We saw low 90s from Michael Bono in Game 1, and believe me, there is a large difference between 91 and 98. It doesn't seem like very much, but those 6 to 7 mile per hour difference will make all of the difference in the world.
And you see a big difference even between what Johnson and Kevin Lennick was throwing. And Lennick looks like he was lighting up the radar gun more than anyone else. Prad just got a piece of it, and it falls out of the glove of Joshua Hines, so the count will stay 2-2. But that fastball still looks like it has some serious zip, and doesn't seem like the Bombers can catch up to it.
How about this battle with Prad? We'll see if he can win it. That would tell me a lot about Prad. He's already really impressed me so far. See if he can impress me even further.
From the stretch, taking a look at second base is Johnson. Deals the 2-2 inside, and that's going to scoot by Joshua Hines. So heading on over to third base on the wild pitch is Keyshawn Clark. And that barely missed hitting Prad. So now we'll have a full count. 3-2 is coming towards home plate is Kyle Johnson to talk to his battery mate and Josh Hines.
Okay, he's got the elbow guard on, but he might want to tighten it up just a tad to make sure that that puppy is fastly secured on his elbow with that ball running in. And when the ball is coming in at 97, 98, I mean, you don't have any time to really react. I mean, it is just seeing it out of the hand, immediately dodging out of the way as soon as you read it out of the hand.
Yeah, not an easy pitch, an easy enough pitch to read, because it's pretty easy to tell when a fastball is coming, but it's a lot harder to actually make contact. Full count to Prad. The payoff pitch catches the outside corner, strike 3. First K of the day for Kyle Johnson. And that'll be the second out of the game for the Bombers as they reset the lineup card, and Malcolm Smith
Now batting for the Bombers.
for his second
Hitter and center
Real
fielder.
pretty pitch there. Upper 90s, and nothing Prad could do there. He was looking for something else. And when it's 97, 98, it gets on you too quick for you to think too long about it.
And now there's 2 outs, and Malcolm Smith fouls the first pitch into the park next to the ballpark. Count is 0-1. And it's just like everything he throws is hard. I don't think there's a single pitch coming out of Kyle Johnson's hand that's hitting Josh Hines' glove at less than 90 miles an hour. He is just smoking balls by these Bombers hitters. 0-1 the count to Smith. Johnson, not paying attention to the runner on third, sends home the 0-1, wave and a miss, strike 2, as Malcolm Smith was way out in front of that breaking ball. And if you got a 97-mile-an-hour heater, that breaking ball just looks extra hard to hit. And Johnson mixing in his pitch as well, fooling Smith there. 0-2 count with 2 outs. Johnson deals. Breaking ball inside corner, strike 3. 2 batters down looking to end off the third inning, and the Bombers strand their first potential run over on third base. So the shutout continues for the A's. We're through 2.5. Canada with a 3-0 lead over the Bombers. 5, 6, and 7 coming to plate for the A's this inning. Colton Kendrick, Eddie McCabe, and Walker Paz.
Leading off the inning for the Canada A's,
2 for 3.
number 32,
Their first
Colton
at-bats.
Kendrick.
Kendrick, the lone player who did not get a hit. He struck out, swinging his first time up. That'll be a hit if it's fair, as it lifted high down the right field line, but foul, and bouncing out of play. Another well-hit ball from Kendrick that tails foul.
Yeah, good pop in the bat of the lefty. He just has struggled to be really consistent this whole winter league. We know that when he gets a hold of it, he's going to do some damage, but just a matter of finding that comfortability in the box and making consistent contact.
Curley ready for the 0-1 pitch from the stretch, deals, and that's going to catch the outside part of the plate, count 0-2. And Kendrick, we talked about his minor league pedigree. Been playing professional baseball since he was drafted by the Twins back in 2017. A couple years in independent ball last year. That one's hit off the end of the bat, high in the air, down the left field line. If it's fair, it's extra bases, but that bounced inches away from the foul line. So very close for Colton Kendrick once again, but the count stays at 0-2.
You got another life at it here. And again, the A's with that lead, 3-0, becomes a lot easier as a hitter to be a little bit more relaxed when you know that you're in the lead and in control of things, as well as when you know that you have good pitching on the mound to keep the other team with a bunch of donuts on the board.
The 0-2 pitch, fastball high, count 1-2. It looks pretty similar to Kendrick's last at bat. Curley trying to get him a chase on that 0-2 pitch, and Kendrick with a great eye at the plate. An aggressive approach, sure, but he knows when to swing and when not to. So a 1-2 count to him. The pitch from Curley inside, count evens up at 2-2. Kendrick working his way back into the count as we see a man warming up for the Bombers. It's Yu Sato in the British Columbia bullpen right now, getting his warm-up tosses in. The 2-2 pitch, fastball high and outside, count fills up at 3-2. A second full count of the day for the Canada A's hitters. And the 2 full counts in the last inning were the only 2 for the A's. Curley pitching exclusively from the stretch on the first base side of the rubber, deals the payoff, and that is fisted, rolling foul. A jam shot may have broken the bat of Colton Kendrick as he is heading towards the dugout, and looks like he's going to come back with another stick.
Oh yeah, that is a piece of firewood there. Just tell as soon as it hit the bat, just that unique sound that wood bat makes when it breaks, just shattered it in on the fist.
So the count stays at 1-2, at 3-2, excuse me. Full count to Kendrick, with Eddie McCabe awaiting on deck. Another foul ball, another great defensive at bat from Colton Kendrick. We've seen a lot of those where he just fouls off pitch after pitch. There at the end of the bat, his third foul of the at bat.
Trying to battle, trying to do whatever he can to get on base here. Strike out his last time around. He would love to win this at bat.
Payoff pitch once again. Curley deals, drilled into the gap in right center field for a base hit. A nice route to the ball, though, by Malcolm Smith to clean it up, and Colton Kendrick is on first with a leadoff single.
And that, my friend, is how you win an at-bat. That ball hit on the screws of the barrel there into center field. Kendrick showing off the pop in his bat. There's some good exit velo numbers, I'm assuming, on that one. Nice line drive signal here for the A's. They are in business. They've already scored in both frames, trying to keep on adding to that lead at 3-0 right now.
So the lead remains 3-0. Eddie McCabe heads to the plate, 1-for-1 on the day. Had a single in the first 8 hits, in the first 3 innings, as McCabe sends that one foul, count 0-1. 8 hits, all singles so far for the Canada A's. No extra base hits, no anything except for just singles. So Canada is really getting it done the hard way, grinding it out, and getting crucial singles and bringing home runs. That pitch is fouled back by McCabe, count 0-2.
Eddie McCabe, another guy that is signed to a contract. A nice hard hit ball his first time around the opposite direction. Good approach for the righty, pretty advanced. Will like to show off the pop middle away, and he can definitely turn on a ball if needed be.
So the count is 0-2 to McCabe. And here's the pitch. Slammed foul down the right field line. Looks like he got a little bit underneath it. Came around on the earlier side. The count stays 0-2.
Good numbers off the bat of Kendrick. Single 105 off of the bat.
Another guy who just hits the ball really hard as Colton Kendrick. Always falling for him, but he's got a great swing. Another good swing from Eddie McCabe. This one traveling higher and further than the last ball, but still out right to the same place. McCabe fouling 2 consecutive pitches away the opposite way, and the count stays 0-2. Fifth pitch of the at-bat coming from Curley before he checks on Kendrick at first base quickly. Up in his stretch and deals. Pitch outside, and that's going to miss the glove of the catcher Aberrett. Kendrick will slide into second base and advance on a stolen base, but a wild pitch still in order for the starting pitcher in Kevin Curley.
Moves up 90 feet, puts a good hitter in Eddie McCabe in a good spot here, even though he's down in the count 1-2. A couple of good defensive swings, though. We'll see if he can shoot something through that right side, try to let the ball get deep in the zone here.
1-2. Outside again, this time a great block by Aberrett, keeping that ball in front of him. Count evens up at 2-2.
Aberrett, as always, really sure-handed behind the plate. Does a good job on the backhands, chesting up, always keeps the ball in front.
And you can tell that his pitcher, Kevin Curley, is a bit frustrated after 2 straight long defensive at-bats from the A's. There's another breaking ball, looked like a slider, and that's going to miss outside. And once again, we're full in the count, 3-2. Curley, in his stretch, deals. Hit on the ground, chopped over to shortstop. Pratt takes a step forward, fields on a hop, and fires for the out. So that is the first out of the inning. Another routine-looking play by Clifford Pratt, just so smooth at the shortstop position.
Yeah, we've talked about some heat on the mound, but out there at shortstop, Clifford Pratt, he's throwing flames across the diamond there at short. He was very comfortable in that spot, very natural. That ball comes out of the hand real nice across the diamond. Looked about mid-80s there.
And I don't know if he just started off nervous or what, but he has just gotten better and better as the season rolled on at the field and at the plate as well. And the first pitch misses low to Walker Paz for ball 1. A 1-0 count, 1 away, 3 runs home already for the A's in this game. Still looking for their first of the inning. 1 in the first, 2 in the second, as next pitch is in there for a strike to Paz. Count 1-1.
Talk about some extra real estate in left center field. My goodness. Malcolm Smith is shaded well to the pole side in center field.
About as much of a righty shift as you can have with the runner on second base. As that one misses outside, it makes the count 2-1. Again, we don't see a lot of shifts, but for the most part, they've worked. Haven't seen a lot of shift-beating hits from anyone, really, in the Cal Winter League. So, managerial styles of Paul Nochi looking good strategically here against the lefty Paz. 2-1. Hit on the ground right to the first baseman. Caulfield's going to flip it to his pitcher, Curley, to tap the bag. 4 out number 2. The run advances as Colton Kendrick is now on third base. On contact, and they're 2 away for Connor Donahue.
We'll leave it up for Donahue here. They're looking to score in every frame so far. 1 in the first, 2 in the second. They would like to do one here, as Kyle Johnson will likely go out for another inning of work.
And I hope he does, because he's just so fun to watch with just his hard-breaking pitches and absolute bullet of a fastball.
Yeah, and I remember Josh telling you about that documentary called Fastball, and there's nothing like a good firm heater, upper 90s and triple digit wise.
I don't know how players can hit that. I really don't.
I'll never forget, so the first time that I saw an upper 90s fastball, I'd seen 90, 91, and I'll never forget the first time I saw 98 in the box. The first time I said, uh-oh, because you could literally hear the thing zip in.
Swing and a miss, strike two as that breaking ball zips in for Donahue. It's an 0-2 count as Donahue has gone down swinging twice.
And that is where that term comes from, because you can literally hear the ball zip. It has that hum to it, and it is terrifying as a hitter.
I can imagine. Have a hard enough hitting those balls on the show. Wave and a whiff, strike three. Out number three via the punch out, and Kevin Curley gets out of a situation where he had a runner on third base. So 3 straight outs after the leadoff hit for Curley and the Bombers. And the A's go down without scoring a run for the first time this game. We're through 3 innings here at historic Palm Springs Stadium. The A's lead the Bombers 3-0. So another new pitcher coming on for the Canada A's. Lennox and Johnson really just building their arms back up as both of them look like they've got the stuff to leave here with a minor league contract as Brett Donahue fouls that one back into the netting, count 0-1. So a scoreless inning thrown for Johnson, just 1 walk allowed, 2 strikeouts, 4 batters faced in total. A 1 pitch hit on a line out to right field on the dive. Missing is Brunson. That's going to bounce behind him for extra bases. Brett Donahue speeding into second base, having to slow himself down and step back on the bag as Donahue takes the second pitch of the inning out to right field for a leadoff double.
We'll get the double there. Brunson looked lost out there. I don't know if he lost it in the sun initially, but a bad first step and kind of a late first step as he tried to make up for it, and then he slipped trying to make the diving grab. I don't think he saw it quite off the bat as well as what he would have hoped to have.
And that will bring up Jacob Cruz, not a guy you want to have runners in scoring position for. 5 home runs on the season for him as a big bat and loves pulling the ball out to right center field. You see that green dragon sign anywhere from there to the Let's Go Power sign out in right field as Cruz fouls that back into the netting. If Cruz hits a ball hard, it's probably where it's going to go.
Yeah, and surprised that they're not actually shifting the infield, too. You would think that they would put the overload shift on, the full Ted Williams, but they'll opt out of that.
Not a full shift, I'd say a half shift, as McCabe is shaded a lot closer to the first base side of that left side, of the right side of the infield. 1-1 the count to Cruz as that one missed wide. So kind of a mini shift on for the lefty. Don't want to have an overload with a man on second. As West pumps in the 1-1, a breaking ball in the dirt, and that ends up trickling behind Josh Hines. So the pass ball will send Donahue over to third base, and it's a 2-1 count to Jacob Cruz.
Yeah, I'll give you some fun little tidbits just on the shifting. Worked for a company, an analytics company out east for 2 full years, and we would track all of the defensive shifting out there. So typically when you're trying to identify a shift, you want 2 of the 3 off or opposite field guys out of place.
As Cruz fouls this one out of play, count evens up at 2-2.
And the kind of way that we would do it, we would try to draw lines, straight lines on either side of the mound going straight up. So if the shortstop was past that straight line on the left side of the mound, he would be considered shifted. Third baseman would have to be about halfway to second base. And then we would also consider the guy on the right side, but he'd have to be well far over. But different ways to identify shifting, and then obviously you get into the funky stuff like 4-man outfielders and 5-man infielders, funky stuff like that that you'll rarely see.
When that kind of happens, it just looks out of place. And that one bounces in front of Hines, deflects off the mast into the netting. He can't find it. So walking home is Brett Donady, who scores on the wild pitch, and Hines taking too long to get it. Jacob Cruz stealing second base, it seems, on the wild pitch after the walk. So heads up base running from Cruz, and just like that, so another runner on second base, and a wild pitch will advance the runner to second.
Yeah, and I hate to hound on any of those guys there because we know that a lot of these guys have given a great effort so far in the CWL, but Josh Hines, he's got to be better there. You have to hustle, get back to the ball there. A good job by Cruz to stay aggressive and take an extra base.
And really just kind of a lapse there from Hines as he didn't think that Cruz would be running on a walk, as that first pitch to Felix Averette is fouled at a play down the right field line. He just found the ball, frustratedly allowed the run to come score, which frankly he wasn't going to be able to do anything about given how high that ball bounced. But he definitely could have picked the ball up sooner to prevent Cruz from replacing Donady at second base, as that one misses outside on the curveball to Felix Averette.
Yeah, that's just an effort play there, and you have to show more effort there and getting that ball. And even if Cruz was going to get in there regardless, it's still not a good look to be jogging back to the baseball.
Swing and a miss, strike 2 to Averette. Looked like that might have been a bit outside, but Averette taking a hack at it, unable to connect, and now it's 1-2 with 1 out. 1 run already home for the Bombers. First run they've allowed, and the score is 3-1.
And it's almost weird. You can almost feel the shift from when those 2 great arms leave the mound for the A's. Now you kind of see the infielders all look a little bit more lethargic. Everybody just looks a little bit way too relaxed.
So 1-2 pitch. Sliced off the end of the bat as Averette kind of dug for that. Kendrick giving chase, avoiding crashing into the fence again, and he'll just let that drop foul. Count stays at 1-2.
And that's just one thing that you can't do. I mean, that's something that's in your control. As a baseball player, you talk about all the time with your managers and coaches, you know, there's so many things in baseball you can't control. But the things that you can control, your effort, your enthusiasm, those are things that the A's, those are foundational building blocks that they're just lacking right now.
The 1-2 pitch, another ball hit off the end of the bat by Averette. 3 straight balls fouled away, and the count remains 1-2. And you're absolutely right. I mean, it really shows. You really can see the difference in the records in just the body language of these guys. The Bombers got down 3-0 early. Their dispositions did not change. They still look ready. The A's, without their dominant pitchers on the hill, they just look a lot. They look 2 more relaxed, and that's the difference between 10-3 and 2-11.
And believe me, I've been there. My freshman year of college, we were not very good. I think we started out the year like 2-20 or something like that, but it's just a matter of somebody's got to be a leader on the field, whether that's vocally or doing it by example. You need that leadership, somebody to set the tone and get your team back in this enthusiastically. I know we're heading down the home stretch here. You're playing every day. I know it can wear on you, but you got to find some sort of life, especially when you're leading in a ball game by 2 runs.
2-2 count, nobody out. One on second base, that's Jacob Cruz. West to look at him and send the pitch forward. A curveball doesn't break late enough, and the count fills up to Aberrett, who is having just a phenomenal at-bat so far. 4 pitches fouled away, and he has now worked the count from 0-2 to 3-2. Payoff pitch misses high again. Ball 4. Felix Aberrett hanging on and hanging in there in a 9-pitch at-bat. He trots over to first base, and now the go-ahead run is at the plate in the form of Blake Freeman.
Freeman a fly out to left field his first time around. Typically a bad guy. You can just feel everything shifting here. And the Bombers really looking for even more runs across here in the 4th. I wouldn't be surprised if they end up with a crooked number on the board before it's all said and done.
1 already home, 3 run the score. So the A's have out-hit the Bombers 8-1, and the fastball is in there for a strike on the outside corner. Certainly looked a bit high to me. But an 0-1 count to Freeman. Still nobody out for the Bombers. A double and 2 walks has been the story for Ben West, as that one is slammed high in the air but foul. Count is 0-2, and West has gotten ahead of just about every hitter that he has faced. First pitch strikes in every at bat so far, but his last 2 counts were worked full. He can't seem to close out these Bombers hitters. The 0-2. Wave and a whiff, strike 3. Broadcaster's jinx going in the favor of Ben West, and there's the first out on the inning on a nasty curveball.
The curveball that just hangs up there. Freeman reads it out of the hand like it's a hanging breaking ball, which it more or less was. So he's trying to be all over it, and instead of just keeping it simple, he tried to get a little bit too far out in front on it and just swinging right underneath the breaking ball.
So now there's one away to Griffin Schneider. Part of this dangerous Bombers lineup again is the fastball's blown right by him there. Count 0-1. Schneider is yet to see a pitch out of the strike zone. Grounded out on an 0-2 count to end off the second. And now faces an 0-1 count to Ben West here. 0-1. Fouled away again. Count 0-2. This time knocked into the netting by Schneider. Schneider hitting an even 400, 12 for 30 on the year, 7 extra base hits, and 3 RBIs. West takes a quick glance at second from the stretch, fires home the 0-2. It bounces in front of Hines, who chests it down, holding the runner Cruz on second base. So there's the first ball to Schneider. Count 1-2 to him. A runner on second with 1 away. West takes a couple of glances at Cruz on second base, fires home the pitch, and that misses the outside corner by a hair. Very close pitch from West, trying to get that swing and miss, but instead the count evens up 2-2. Caulfield on deck for the Bombers. Keyshawn Clark will follow him. 2-2. Misses again, and that's ball 3. Third time that West has seen an 0-2 count run full on 4 0-2 counts now in this ball game.
Yeah, he's really just nibbling at it instead of just going right after him. He's really trying to nibble at that corner. Just put it right in there, see what he can do.
Count runs full. 2 on, 1 out. Payoff pitch just low as both players run on the walk. And that is ball 4, and that's going to load up the bases for Andrew Caulfield as Paul Nochi is going to come out and have a chat with the pitcher. We may see a substitution. There is an arm warming up in the pen for the A's, but it could just be a case of manager trying to talk away the balls.
Tough one there for Ben West. Thought he had the kneecaps there, Schneider looking, but instead it's a walk issue. A good at-bat from Schneider, and this inning is far from being done with just 1 out. Bases juiced, and Caulfield, who hit the ball hard his last time up, even though it was a ground out, he's always a threat. Then Clark and Pratt Yet again, this 1 through 9 in the Bombers' order all can do something, all can do damage in their own ways, and they're looking to continue to here, as it seems as though they've pulled all the momentum away from those two flame-throwing righties that started out for the A's.
That could be a ploy to just get some more warm-up time for the relief pitcher, as Ben West will remain on the hill with one out and the bases loaded. Infield at double play depth, and it won't matter there. Drilled into right field on the first pitch. The runners will move up station to station as Brunson pumps in a nice throw to a cutoff man in Colton Kendrick. So we go around the bases, and an RBI base hit for Andrew Caulfield brings the Bombers within a run.
Yeah, and they're about to bring up their 7th batter of the inning in Keyshawn Clark. They got things cooking with an extra base hit to start out things in the 4th down, setting the tone. 3 walks in this inning, so patience at the plate, and they're really trying to hunt out fastballs up in the zone, which is what Caulfield just did there.
Infield searching for the double play against Keyshawn Clark. He takes a look at ball 1, a high fastball at his eyes. Count 1-0. Clark walked in his only plate appearance, but did steal a base. And a nice curveball just misses low. Count 2-0.
Looks like they've lost the bottom of the zone a little bit. West had the fastball down there, and now the breaking ball just not getting the calls.
So a 2-0 count now to Keyshawn Clark. Base is still loaded, 1 away. Wave and a miss, strike 1 as Clark chases the low pitch. That one, doesn't matter where the bottom is on the strike zone. That was it. And it's a 2-1 pitch. A nice curveball from West fools Keyshawn Clark. 2-1 the count. The pitch. Right over the heart of the plate, and Clark just frustrated with himself that he took a look at that. As the count is now 2-2, all even up here on the scoreboard. 2 runs on 2 hits versus 3 runs on 8 hits, but the Bombers have a big opportunity to change that. 2-2. Just fouled, sliced right backwards by Keyshawn Clark. That will keep the count at 2-2. And keeps the potential of a sacrifice alive as well.
Yeah, they'll pinch the corners in at 3rd and 1st. Double play depth up the middle. Outfielders look like they're about normal depth.
1 away, the 2-2 pitch from West deals. Bouncing away from Josh Hines, and that wild pitch is going to score the tying run. On the way home comes Felix Averett, and it's a brand new ball game. 3 runs across, 2 on wild pitches, and it's 3-3 in the top half of the 4th.
And the A's are just seeming to let this slip away, and we've already highlighted it so far this inning. Everything is shifted, all of them just very flat, lacking life in this inning.
So the payoff pitch from West, fastball just high, and the bases are loaded once again. That is walk number 4 of the inning for Ben West. All 4 of them have come on
Now they put the Bombers.
3rd strike has been so
Number
recent for
25.
West today.
Clifford Pratt.
The dangerous Clifford Pratt.
Yeah, and Pratt already with a good at-bat in the 3rd. That was against Kyle Johnson, and he worked a full count in that at-bat. So he's seen the ball well with how he's performed the last couple days, and he's looking to do damage here with the bases juiced.
He has home runs in consecutive games. That first one was a walk-off home run. Another one in the last contest for the Bombers was an absolute bullet right around to that same spot out in left center field. And now he faces a 1-1 count after he's 0 for 1 with a strikeout. He did go toe-to-toe, though, with Kyle Johnson. You're absolutely right. That one is lifted high in the air out to center field. Under it, and making the one-handed grab is Fukuda. He's going to fire home. The throw is cut off. And Griffin Schneider scores from 3rd base. And the Bombers take their first lead of the ball game. They're up 4-3 after a 4-run 4th.
Just like that, this lineup, we know what they can do, and they have really hurt the A's here in this frame, and they've done it by being patient, picking out pitches, and then driving the ball on their base hits, and then on the sac fly there by Pratt, just hitting with a plan, knowing that he just needs to drive that run in, and he does his job.
So 2 outs, 2 on for the Bombers as that one is sent over the press box here for foul ball number strike 1. Smith 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts, so looking to change up his tune at the plate against a new pitcher. Smith, the only player who has faced all 3 pitchers that the A's have thrown. Skied in the air in foul territory down the first base line, charging the dugout and letting it go into the stands is Colton Kendrick. Joshua Hines there to back up as well. So the count 0-2 on 2 foul balls from Malcolm Smith.
It's just the little things. You know, the Bombers are battling every pitch here, and we've already talked a little bit. The A's not seemingly matching that effort as the inning continues.
The 0-2. Fouled back again by Smith. More good defensive at-bats coming against Ben West, and I think that's just got to be so frustrating when everything you're throwing is looking good, but the batters are getting just enough contact to keep the at-bat going. 0-2 the count, 2 on, 2 out. 4 runs already home for the Bombers. The 0-2. Curveball just missing high and inside. Count is now 1-2. A good pitch to try and get a swing and miss out, but all day long, the Bombers have not been buying it. The 1-2. There it is. Strike 3 called. And down goes Malcolm Smith, and that will do it for the 4th inning. So the Bombers bat around and score 4 runs just like that. They're halfway home with a 4-3 lead. So a new pitcher on the mound. 5 pitchers have been used already. And the first pitch from Usado misses for ball 1 on Joshua Hines. And now for the first time, the A's are playing with a deficit. They have led the entirety of this game. Sato looking to keep the Bombers alive with some strong pitching after Curley gave up a lot of hits, but overall a solid outing for the Bombers.
Yeah, pretty good start for Curley, who typically works out of the bullpen. And he had a tough one. Obviously, when you know you're going up against guys that have minor league experience on the other side on the hill, makes things a little bit more difficult, but he battled through adversity at times, and he did his part, and now it's up to Usado to do his part. The Bombers, one of the best teams, if not the best team, in handing the ball over to other guys and allowing them to do their jobs.
3-1 pitch to Hines is weakly grounded out to second base off the end of the bat. Clark fires to first, and there's out number 1. As Hines is now 0 for 2. So the book closed now on Kevin Curley, who is currently in line for the win despite allowing 3 runs on 8 hits. No walks in the 4 innings pitched.
Number 10.
4 batters. A solid game for Lennox. Just 8 hits don't look good in the stat sheet, but still Curley really deceiving everyone with how strong he was on the mound as Kimbrough swings at strike 1, count 0-1.
Got one for you, Josh, as this pitch will come in.
Sato sends in the fastball, high and outside, count 2-0.
I was thinking, boy, it's about time for college baseball to start up. That's something we always like to talk about. The big league ball, of course, as any baseball fan likes to, but college baseball right around the corner as well, with most of these guys out here in the CWL having college playing experience.
Sato not one of those guys, though. 2-1 the pitch. He hasn't played in college in America, but did play in his home country, Japan. And Sato having a solid outing. A Neon University alum from Japan. Fastball, splitter, and a curveball from him, as his stats are 3-1 in 4 starts, 9 total appearances, including this one, as the count runs full to Desjard Kimbrough. 1 save in 17 innings pitched, 22 strikeouts, 6 walks, 14 hits allowed. Primarily a starter, though. Still able to get it done out of the pen as that ball misses. Getting away from Aberrett and taking a jog over to first with a free pass and a 1-out base runner is Desjard Kimbrough.
Now heading for the Canada
Quick
8.
out, they'll work with the
Center fielder,
base there.
number
Kimbrough.
1. Messiah
Fukuda, the defensive wizard in center field. We'll see if he can build off that last at-bat, a single for him.
Fukuda 1 for 2 on the day. And he takes the first pitch low, and that's going to miss for ball 1 after a free pass awarded to Kimbrough. Third time he's reached base, but he's only 1 for 1. Does have a stolen base and 2 runs scored. Does Kimbrough. Thought about heading to second. Aberrett pops up after catching the high fastball. So back on first goes Kimbrough, and a 2-0 count to Messiah Fukuda at the plate. And Fukuda hasn't shown us a lot from hitting, as you mentioned, but his defense has been very impressive, as that one is hit high in the air out to the left field side. Schneider on the run, making a grab for the second out.
Slicing away from Schneider there. I don't think he fully saw it off the bat initially, but then recouped to make the play. Schneider kind of a positionless guy for the Bombers, although he's seemed to be a little bit more comfortable out in left field as of late.
He's kind of found his groove there. I believe that's where he was when he hit those
Now
7 extra base hits. So it also
right
just
fielder,
that,
number 22.
keeps him more.
Kevin Brunson.
And I'll bring up now Tavis Brunson, who is using a different bat, but is not the one I saw. Fastball inside. Aberrett can't get out of the way of Kimbrough, and it's a stolen base for Kimbrough again. It's number 4 for him on the season. The count is 1-0 to Tavis Brunson. So that other at bat, kind of a sky blue digital camo at bat from Brunson. This one two-tone black and maroon. High in the air, shallow left field, right around the shortstop is Clifford Pratt, who camps under to make the grab. Forward out number 3. So no runs come home for the A's as they are unable to erase the deficit. They trail by 1 heading into the 5th. So a whole lot of new coming on for the A's, starting with a new pitcher in Walker Paz, a shortstop who has been called on to do a heck of a lot of pitching after Ben West put himself in line for the loss after a 4-run top of the 4th inning.
Yeah.
So first pitch to Brett Donity misses for ball 1. He led off that 4th inning with a double. As Paz sends in another pitch, a breaking ball, hammered right down up the middle, as diving was Aaron Ushery, and he is a little slow to get up out in center field. So a leadoff base hit once again for Brett Donity. He's 2 for 2 when leading off an inning. And a whole lot of defensive changes as well. And Ushery at short, Antonio Carter comes in at third base. Eddie McCabe, the only holdover, has stayed second. Travis McFarland is in at first base. Collier Rutledge is out in left. Adrian Pizzana in right. And Travius Ford, is between them in center field. That'll bring up Jacob Cruz, the DH, 0 for 1 on the day. 1 walk and a run scored. For that second run and that 4-run explosion by the Bombers in the last frame. Paz deals, fastball missing outside, count 1-0. Bruce, we've talked a lot about his home run power, but really a pretty complete hitter so far for the Bombers this season. .452 average, 4 doubles, 4 homers. The rest of his hits are singles, as that one misses outside for ball 2. Also has now walked a total of 4 times with his free pass in the 4th inning. Second on the team in average, leading the entire league with 5 home runs. 2-0 pitch, misses outside again, count 3-0. And Cruz, we saw walk yesterday, always gets frustrated when he walks. Definitely a guy who takes pride in his hitting, has a great swing, and a whole lot of power. He's got a 3-0 count with a runner on. 3-0 pitch, fastball missing outside, and Jacob Cruz is going to head to first base on 4 straight pitches. So 2 on with nobody out. Now the heart of the rhythm count for British Columbia. As Kyle Armsworthy warms up in the A's bullpen. So Aberrett 0 for 1. Like Cruz, he walked in the 4th and scored a run. A great defensive at bat. Fouled off 4 straight baseballs. Worked a count from 0-2 to 3-2 did Aberrett. And there he takes the first pitch on the outside corner. Count 0-1. Aberrett 7 for 37 on the season. 8 RBI. Struck out 10 times in the 4 sacrifices and walked 4 times as well. There's another pitch as Paz pumps in 2 straight strikes to make it 0-2, and he's in need of a big out on the mound with the first 2 runners reaching base via a single and a walk. Paz pitching from the stretch, takes a look at second base and deals. And that one's drilled right down the left field line. Is it fair? No, it's not. It's going to hit in foul territory, just a couple of feet outside of the A's bullpen where Kyle Armsworthy is warming up. So the count will stay 0-2, and the runners will head back to their bases. Brett Donity, who led off the inning with a single, is on second, and Jacob Cruz is on first base. 0-2 the count. 4-3 the score for the Bombers. All 4 runs scored in that top of the 4th inning. Paz taking a look at the base runners, checks on Cruz, looks home, deals the 0-2, and that gets away from Hines. A wild pitch for Walker Paz puts both runners in scoring position, and it keeps the count 1-2 to Felix Aberrett.
Paz not typically his comfortable spot to be on the pitcher's mound. Just 2 1/3 innings of work so far. He does have a hold, 3 strikeouts, but not typically where you'll see him on the diamond. It's a bullpen day for the Canada A's as they just try to get through today, and tomorrow they'll have to play again. So they're working through the dog days of the winter here, playing every day. It's been hard for these teams to manage their arms, manage the bullpens, and the Canada A's, we're kind of seeing it today that they're just kind of running out of gas.
And Paz, though, certainly no stranger to the pitcher's mound, as this This is his third appearance as that one is hit high in the air out to deep right field. Could this go? It won't. It hit the base of the wall, and Alboret's going to round for extra bases. The throw is cut off by Eddie McCabe. 2 runs will score as a bases clearing double extends the Bombers' lead. 2 runs come in on Alboret's double, and it is 6-3 in favor of the Bombers.
I didn't want to speak too soon, Josh, but I was just about to say, when are we going to see the first bomb from Alboret? He's definitely due for one, and he almost went the opposite way there to show it off. Some good pop in the bat, nice 2 RBI double, and the Bombers yet again just crushing baseballs left and right.
Certainly have the best power hitting team as Freeman takes a fastball on the outside corner for strike 1. Alboret getting a lot of doubles on the season. He has 8 hits now. 4 of them are doubles. That one misses outside, even up the count at 1-1. So, a guy with gap-to-gap power and clearly to both ways. That one hit the bottom of the wall on the opposite side of the plate for Felix Alboret. 1-1 pitch. Paz looks at Alboret on second, fires home, misses outside, count 2-1. Freeman 0 for 2 on the day, struck out on 3 straight pitches in his last time up and flew out on just 1 pitch back in at the second. The 2-1. Hit off the end of the bat and foul, count even up at 2-2. Freeman a notch above Alboret in terms of average, but he is 6 for now 30 on the season. Facing a 2-2 count from Paz. Still nobody out for the Bombers and a runner on second base. Paz checks on Alboret, deals it home, and that's sliced into left field. On the run and making the grab is Collier Rutledge. He'll fire it into second base to make sure the runner stays there. He does. A nice play in the outfield by Collier Rutledge for the first down of the inning.
That was entering the danger zone out there for Rutledge. He almost got handcuffed a little bit around the waist area. I was almost about ready to say, boy, that might hit the sun there and just clear the bases, but hangs up there and he makes the play despite the sun.
So first pitch is in there for a strike. That's Griffin Schneider at the dish. The left fielders 0 for 1, the walk and a run scored. Caillou started out hotter than just about everyone. Came a home run away from hitting the cycle twice before Nick Dimbalbo did it for the first time last night. Jam shot high in the air out to left field. Rutledge moves a couple steps forward, camps under it, and secures the catch for the final out of the inning. So 2 runs will score. Looks like they're just rolling this inning over. And the Bombers lead 6-3 heading into the bottom half of the 5th.
National Power Cookies exclusively at Palm Springs Stadium.
Reset the
Ball
defense
last.
as Paul Nochi
Leading off the inning for the A's.
Clyburn might be now.
Antonio Carter.
Back there over at third base. Clyburn was there for an inning. And now Travis McFarland will be following up Antonio Carter. And then Eddie McCabe, the only holdover, as first pitch misses to a ball for Carter. So Carter takes the 1-0 from Sato and takes another pitch after that. High fastball makes it 2-0.
See if the Bombers can keep the A's right where they're at. The A's would like to see any sign of life, although they're going with their usual platooned roster. We've talked about it all winter long, how sometimes that can be a little difficult for hitters trying to find a rhythm at the plate. We'll see if it works in their favor here today. Only down by 3, even though it feels like a lot more.
And Antonio Cardo walks on pitch number 4 there, so his first at bat gets him on to first safely for a walk. And there's still no one out.
Now batting for the Canada A's. First baseman, number 27.
Taking
Travis
control of the side.
McFarland.
The A's now playing from behind.
Yeah, trying to do whatever they can. Again, they're only down by 3, but it feels like a lot more with just kind of the way the pace of this game has slowed down. You had the 2 minor league arms in Kevin Lennick and Kyle Johnson who motored through everybody, and now a slower pace to the game. We'll see who can win the marathon.
Another ball, another strike from Sato as McFarland swung and missed, so he's 0 for 2. McFarland just 1 for 16 in his time in the California Winter League as Sato checking on the runner over at first base. Good speed on the path from Carter as Sato from the stretch misses outside, count 1-2. Travis McFarland has the fewest at-bats of anyone on the Canada A's, primarily playing as the DH, though. His opportunity to come in. He's got 1 hit, 2 RBIs in 16 at-bats. That one's fouled away. That's going to roll into the stands. That will remain 1-2.
This is one of those games, if you're both of these teams, even though it's kind of slowed down, you want to try to find any sort of life to regain some energy. I know that these guys, they're tired. They've been playing every day. This is a grind out here as baseball ever is. We've got to find a way to stay in this one.
And a nasty curveball stays in the zone from Yu Sato. Beautiful pitch to get McFarland out looking. So 1 on and 1 out now. Going to bring up Eddie McCabe.
Now batting for the Canada A's. Second
After
baseman,
him.
number 15.
Good curveball there
Eddie
from Sato.
McCabe.
That one misses. Outside, Aberrett doing a great job of popping up and making that snag before the quick Antonio Carter is heading to second base. 1-0 count to McCabe, who's 1 for 2 on the day. Single and a ground out. And an appeal to the base umpire says that McCabe did indeed, in fact, go with that low breaking ball. So the count will even up at 1-1. One's across the board, 1 strike, 1 out, 1 on. One misses outside and low, count 2-1. Seeing a lot of that curveball and the fastball from Sato. Not as much of the splitter as we normally see. Curveball looks pretty good. Fastball looks like it's sitting in the high 80s as that one misses low again, count 3-1. Sato already with a walk in this inning. He has now 2 on the game so far. Sato takes a quick look at third in his stretch for the 3-1 pitch. Misses way outside, and sprinting over to second base is Carter. Aberrett gets to it quickly, so no wild pitch will be counted there, and it's just a walk for Eddie McCabe to bring up Aaron Ushery.
2 runners on with 1 out. I don't know what came over me, Josh, but randomly thought there while McCabe was at bat, trying to figure out who
Canada
doppelganger
number
would be.
8.
Kind of resembles our younger Josh Donaldson, really. The flow out the back of the helmet.
You got a little bit of a mullet going on.
Yeah.
Some Josh Donaldson stuff.
Maybe some bow flow action in Toronto as well.
Both flow knows, man. MLB legacy he is. A lot of those in this league this year is Usher. He spits on a breaking ball outside, count 1-1.
Toronto, one of those young teams, very fun to watch.
I was kind of disappointed that they didn't end up making the playoffs. I was glad my Yankees got in the wild card, but I was really looking forward to seeing the Blue Jays in the playoffs. That young core, Vladdy Jr., Bo Bichette, bringing some veterans in the offseason. Although I think they're going to take a step back this year, losing a couple of guys to free agency. Is that one out of the glove of Felix Averette? Both runners will advance on the pass ball.
Rare error there from Aberrett, and well deserving of a pass ball. He probably should have snagged that one out of the air.
And as you said, it's not something you usually see from Aberrett. Aberrett, one of the better defensive catchers in the Cal Winter League this season. A guy who's been here many times before and will be going up to the next level after this season. As breaking ball misses, count 3-1. And Sato in danger of getting himself in trouble. One ball away from loading the bases with 3 walks. But no one going for the Bombers. 3-1 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 2. Getting Ushery to offer at a breaking ball. Ushery looking for the heat. Found the breaker. That fills up the count on him. 2 runners in scoring position with 1 out. Line foul back into the netting from Ushery, who has also pitched at times this season, but has played most of his year over at shortstop. He is 2 for 23. 1 run scored, 1 RBI. Trying to avoid his 8th strikeout. The payoff pitch. Wave and a whiff, strike 3. Ushery goes down swinging. That is strikeout number 2 for Yu Sato. And the second of this inning. 2 away.
So we'll see what Chapman can do with 2 down.
Number 20.
They would like to plate at least 1, even if they can get by on a wild pitch or something, try to make this competitive.
Purnell, a big frame at 6'5", 225 as he takes that one low. Same height and weight as Kevin Linick and Kyle Johnson are listed. And facing a 1-0 count here to Sato. Sato deals. Breaking ball just catches the outside corner. Count evens up at 1-1. Chaplin 4 for 18. All 4 hits are singles. He certainly has the power to get a little bit more. 1-1 pitch, foul tipped into the glove of Aberrett. And as it is not the 3rd strike, the at-bat will continue. 1-2 count to the A's new DH. The 1-2 pitch. Slice foul. Count remains 1-2.
Aberrett calls a really good game behind the plate. Understands his pitchers really well, so sticking with the fastball, he knows that that's what Sato likes to go to put away guys with.
2 on, 2 out, 1-2 count. Sato deals, hammered high and foul again. 1-2 the count, and another great defensive at bat that we've seen today. Most of those really good ones have been on the other side, but Colton Kendrick had a nice defensive at bat. So did Eddie McCabe back in the 3rd. And now here, pitch number 6 just catches the outside corner. Called strike 3. And Purnell Chaplin will head back to the dugout. So will the A's. They leave 2 runners stranded in scoring position and come out empty-handed in the 5th. 2 more to go. The A's trail the Bombers 6-3. The lead stays 6-3, but Kyle Armsworthy's relief appearances are going to increase into double digits. His 10th time touching the rubber here at Palm Springs Stadium this season. Record of 1-1, 9 ERA. 9 strikeouts, 5 walks, but 25 hits in 14 innings. All coming in relief for the Canada Hayes, the Nova Scotia native. Will face the bottom third of the Bomber order after the rollover in the 5th. Caulfield up to bat. He takes the first pitch, ball 1. He'll be followed up by Keyshawn Clark and Clifford Pratt. Book closed on Walker Paz, got through 2/3 of an inning, 2 runs on 2 hits with a walk, no strikeouts for him. Armsworthy should be expected to finish the game as that one's chopped foul by Caulfield, count 1-1. Armsworthy going to be heading back to his home country, the Quebec Capitals of the Frontier League. From Lower Sackville, Nova Scotia. Had a great story at the beginning of the season on him and a couple of his college teammates seeing a car trapped on the Meridian back in his hometown of Lower Sackville. And about half of the team, Armsworthy included, were able to band together and lift that car off the Meridian, put him back on the road safely. So just a really heroic thing to do for the sidewinding right-hander who now finds himself continuing his pro career. Good karma, I guess, as Caulfield fouls that one back. Count evens up at 2-2.
Nice little nugget of information there. All these guys have a story to them, as always, and they're all trying to progress that story along in their playing careers, trying to make it to that next level, add a chapter in each of their own books. That is the end-all goal here, at least.
Now 2-2 to Caulfield now. He fouled off 2 straight. Armsworthy the low lead to get the sign. Sidewinding pitch, deal, slice fouled again. 3 straight balls fouled off, and the count stays at 2-2. Armsworthy, one of the most recognizable deliveries of any pitcher in the Cal Winter League. Him and Hakuto Kanai are really the only ones who stray from what would be considered more of the norm. Armsworthy, more a sidewinder. Kanai is practically a submariner as Caulfield lifts that out to right field. And 2 steps to his left to make the grab is Adrian Pizana. So 1 away, and that'll bring up the second baseman, Keyshawn Clark.
Now batting for the British Columbia Bombers,
Contact hitter
second baseman,
has shown his
number
ability
14,
to draw walks against 2 different pitchers.
Look at the Bombers, those 2 clean innings in the first and second, and ever since they've brought at least 4 guys to the plate in the last 3 frames.
So the best offensive team in the Cal Winter League is certainly woken up, excuse me. I hope my parents aren't listening. I'm not going to mess up grammar like that. Sorry, guys. 1-0 the count to Clark. He deals, dribbled on the ground up the middle. McCabe running, ranging towards Scherz, across his body. What a play. Eddie McCabe making it look easy. And racking up Keyshawn Clark for out number 2.
That's one of the best plays that we've seen over at second base so far. I know we saw somebody earlier in the year make a couple of those. I'm trying to remember who it was, but
because he's made a bunch of
nice number 25.
I believe you're right. McCabe, that's one of the nicer ones you'll see there on a weird hop. The ball kind of redirected a little bit, and he still made the throw across his body. What a play.
And the first pitch to Clifford Pratt misses low and away. Count 1-0. As Armsworthy's been able to get 2 quick outs after surrendering 4 hits and 2 runs his last time out against the Chill. As that one is hit high in the air and into the gap for a base hit. Ford just a step or 2 behind that Pratt base hit. As Pratt gets his first official at bat since the 3rd inning. He had a sacrifice fly back in the 4th, and now a 2-out base hit.
Now batting for the Bombers,
Barrel behind the ball, good piece of hitting. Pratt They showed the pop on the pull side, and now show some pop the other way, barreling up that pitch on the sinking line drive into right center field. And Pratt has really shown it defensively today. He's really emerged as one of the most complete players alongside with his teammate Felix Albaret. Here in the last couple days, Pratt really making some noise.
And Connor Donahue is now catching as the pitch gets behind him for the wild pitch. On the second goes Clifford Pratt, and it's a 1-0 count to the leadoff hitter of the Bombers, Malcolm Smith. So it could be the hand injury of Colton Traeger acting up again. I do believe he's still in the dugout. But it'll be interesting to see as Donahue was taken out as the DH. Traeger was inserted as the catcher in the last inning as Smith swings and misses, but the ball gets behind Donahue. And on to third will go Clifford Pratt. So 2 wild pitches advance Pratt, and the count is 1-1 to Malcolm Smith. Armsworthy, now the runner on third. Still 2 away in the inning for the A's. Swung on and fouled back into the netting and the backstop. Count now 1-2.
Trying to go for about as clean as an inning as they'll get since the first and second. They did only face 4 in third, trying to do so again here.
And there's strike 3. Called strike 3 on the outside corner. Malcolm Smith taking a slow walk back to the dugout after that one. So the A's hold off the Bombers there. A late surge in that inning with Pratt getting all the way to third base on the single. But they still trail by 3. So Colton Traeger did not catch in that last inning, but he will hit. So Colton Traeger can be reinserted as the designated hitter here. We'll see what happens when the 8th spot in the order comes back up. But he'll lead off the 6th by fouling one back into the netting as Usano is coming out for his 3rd inning of work. The pitch by Sato in there for a strike, catching the outside corner. And Traeger not happy with that one. Takes a long walk around the batter's box before he comes back up to the plate. Collier Rutledge and Travius Ford will follow him up as the 0-2 comes to Traeger, missing low and outside. Count 1-2. Sato from the stretch, he deals. Breaking ball just missing on the outside corner. Count evens up at 2-2.
Even Sato had to take a longer glare in. He thought that was strike 3.
2-2 pitch. That one missing low. Count filling up at 3-2, and Colton Traeger frustrated with himself, and it works in his favor. Waits now to 3-2 count after falling behind 0-2. So patient at the plate. Looks like he's almost recovered from that hand injury that he sustained. That one misses high, so 4 straight balls after 2 straight strikes send Traeger to first base with a leadoff walk. And important for the A's, as they have not scored since the 2nd inning.
Yeah, again, just a weird feeling to this game, given that the A's were only down by
Batting for
3.
the Canada A's.
You would think that they're down by about 6 or 7, but if they're within striking distance, if they can just put a couple across here.
And that one bounces away from the catcher. So Aberrett going to the backstop to get it as Traeger takes a walk to second base. A wild pitch for Sato, and a 1-0 count now to Collier Rutledge. Sato checking on the runner at second base, deals, fastball grounded right to the second baseman. Clark doesn't have to move, but takes a couple steps towards the bag to make the throw and get the first down.
Does his job there. Doesn't go in the scorebook as anything fancy schmancy, but he moves up Traeger over to third base on the ground ball the other way. Now, if you're Ford, you just want to play this run, whether it's a sac fly or drive it in with base hit. Just want to put this one somewhere into the outfield, give yourself a chance, and if he's able to do that, they'd cut it down to just a 2-run lead.
And A's did have the first walk-off of the season, and a big part of that is because of the man up at the plate, Travius Ford, who takes a fastball high for ball 1. He had a leadoff triple in the 7th inning against the Grizzly, who had tied it up back in the 6th, and he was driven in by Jard Kimbrough 2 at-bats later. So Ford, no stranger to timely hitting. Needs one here is Sato, losing a little bit of control on the mound as his countryman, Yusei Teraoka, is now warming in the bullpen for the Bombers. He has a save already, and he'll be in line to get his second one if Sato can keep the deficit, or keep the advantage low. 2-0 pitch. Misses again outside, count 3-0, in danger of another walk. Runner on third with no out. A lot of speed necessary at this point, as a poke in the outfield would get the job done for the A's. And Traeger does have good speed for a catcher, but still has catcher speed. 3-0 pitch, fastball high, and Travius Ford, who has great speed, is on first base with a 1-out walk.
See how much longer Sato can go in this game. They have Toroka down there. Toroka looks like he's ready to come into the game. See if they can try to get a double play ball. This might be the last hitter that Sato sees.
Could be, as we see Cam Roth at least ready in the dugout for the Bombers. Looking like he's going to have a chat with Sato sometime soon. That'll bring up Adrian Pizzana as Aberrett scoops that breaking ball out of the dirt. 5 straight balls now, for Sato. Saw Pizzana walking around with a 23 on his chain as Ford heads for second base. The fastball's upstairs for ball 2, and Travius Ford is in there with the stolen base to put runners on second and third. Ford has 4 stolen bases this season. Now 2-0 the count now to Pizzana. As Sato takes a glance over at third base. Fires in the 2-0 pitch. Fastball high. Count 3-0 once again. 7 straight balls now for Sato.
He's really kind of lost the feel for the zone as he's working that pitch count up a little bit more. Just trying to do whatever he can to get out of this inning himself and prevent the Bombers from going to the bullpen early on.
Sato taking a little bit more time after a second straight 3-0 count. Sends in the pitch, a get-me-over fastball, does the job, gets over the plate for strike 1. That'll bring a count to 3-1 to Pizzana. Let's see if he's wearing that Tatis chain now, but as Certainly a guy who appreciates the Padres outfielder's skills as he fouls out back into the netting. Count full at 3-2.
Everybody's always got a favorite player they try to model after. I had several. I remember trying to do multiple different batting stances.
Payoff pitch misses high, and the bases are loaded. So the go-ahead run is at the plate, and his name is Antonio Carta, his second at-bat of the day. He walked back in the fifth as Tom Vaith will come on. Looks like he's going to take the ball from Yu Sato as Teraoka is eyeing him closely. And, yep, in will come Yusei Teraoka. So Yu Sato, a solid outing, but needs a big jam for Teraoka, his countryman, to get out of. Potential 5-out save coming for the 5'4" Japanese left-hander. We'll be back right after this. So Yusei Teraoka, a save already to his name, will take to the hill as Carta lofts this one into foul territory down the right field line. And letting it go out of bounds is Gray Jones, who is now in right field for the Bombers. It's like Caulfield and even Keyshawn Clark joined in on the chase for that. So Teraoka sends the first pitch in for a strike to Carta.
Pretty good numbers for Teraoka, who normally will play center field. He does have 2 wins on the mound in 8 games, 9 1/3 innings of work.
As Carta chopped this one foul down the third base line, count 0-2. So Teraoka getting the job done so far. 3.75 ERA, already has a save in 9 1/3 innings, 8 strikeouts and 2 walks. So a really solid two-way player is Yusei Teraoka. As there's the curveball, and that is hit high in the air and out of play. It's going to end up as a souvenir for a couple of lucky fans. So the 0-2 count remains. And Carta will trot back up to the plate. Traeger on third, Ford on second, Pisana on first. Shot full of A's on the base pass as Carta swings and misses. That's strike 3. No chance for that drop third strike. And a big first out for Yusei Teraoka. 2 away in the inning now.
Brought the lofty curveball, not very firm, but it's just spinning there. That looks too good for Carter to lay off of. A good pitch from Teraoka, who normally doesn't really get guys out by way of the strikeout, but he gets one there.
Now just an efficient pitcher, induces weak contact usually, as that curveball's looking extra good today. He sends one in there for a strike to McFarland. A little sweeping action on there and a sharp late break to it. It's the most life I've seen in Teraoka's curveball this season. There's the heat that misses high, count 1-1. McFarland struck out in his last at bat. He was the first strikeout victim of Yu Sato, who is responsible for all of the runners on bases. That is hit into the gap out in center field. Playing in was Smith, but he tracks backwards to make the grab. So Taraoka comes into a bases loaded, one-out jam and comes out unscathed. The Bombers take a 6-3 lead into the 7th. Another new pitcher for the Bombers. They have now sent 6 players to the bump, and it's going to be Eddie McCabe. His last pitching appearance was for the Chill, where he did not allow a run, and that sidearm delivery spins in a breaking ball outside to Donady. Count 2-0. Donady has led off 2 of the last 3 innings. He is 2 for 2 when leading an inning off, and he swings and fouls that one away. Count 2-1. Double and a single, and both times he's led off an inning, he has scored a run. So he's got a 2-1 count to him, and Donady having the best game at the plate of his season so far. That one is hit on the ground, and Bill Buckner under the legs of Travis McFarland. And heading to second now is Donady on the air. So not a great start to the inning for the A's, as an error in fielding play gives them their first error of the contest and puts a runner in scoring position.
Now batting for the Bombers.
So I'll bring up
Designated hitter, number
Walked
23,
each of his last 2
Jacob Cruz.
is 0 for 1 on the day, grounded out to the first baseman back in the first inning. Cruz 5 home runs, 14 RBIs on the season. As umpire just making sure that the exchange of gear is going smoothly for Brett Donady over on second base. First pitch to Cruz is hammered down the right field line, but long foul. He got way too excited, knows that McCabe doesn't have a lot of velocity, as is the case for many of the position players who throw, and Cruz wanted to jump on it. Sent that one probably into the high school parking lot across the street. Home run hack again for Cruz, wave and a miss for strike 2, as McCabe gets another breaking ball by him. And you can tell that Cruz is sitting dead red here with McCabe on the mound. Working quickly, the 0-2 pitch is fisted foul. And out of play going the other way. Count remains 0-2. Donady stands on second base on an error. And he has 1 stolen base this season, so good speed on the base pass. Is that one indoor to Cruz. Hammered again down that right field line, but still drifting foul. Sent over the batting cages on the right field side. looks like a home run derby pitcher. And Cruz is just teeing off on these pitches from Eddie McKay. The 0-2. Hit hard into the gap down the left center field line and bounces in front of Travius Ford over his glove. Cruz is going to be sprinting into second. Standing on third is Donity, and it's a stand-up double for Jacob Cruz. So the first two runners reach base for the Bombers, and they are threatening here with 2 on and nobody out.
Slicing away from Ford there, who had a beat on it.
No,
Cruz not one to really go the opposite way, but that time changing it up a bit as he figures out how many outs there are, and Aberrett digs in.
Aberrett sends the first pitch high in the air down the right field line. That's going to drift out of play and bounce over the trainer's tent next to right field. 0-1 the count to him, and I think that's the first time we've seen Cruz go opposite field.
Yeah, I think it is.
He is usually a full pull hitter, and as we mentioned, all those home runs going right around the same area over the left center field wall. Aberrett primarily a pull hitter, but we saw an opposite field double last time he was at bat. High in the air into straightaway left field, dropping shallow for Aaron Ushery, who makes the catch right next to the infield dirt. And a big first out for the Bombers. 1 away.
Now heading to the Bombers.
Ray Jones
Right
getting
fielder,
that bat here.
Number 20.
So a
Ray
right
Jones.
field for Freeman for the last 2 innings. And he sends the first pitch on the ground over to shortstop. The run will score easily, but Jones is out at first. And Ushery makes the toss for the second out. It is an RBI for Dre Jones, and the score is now 7-3 in favor of the Bombers. The run goes on though
Number 12,
to Eddie
left
McKay,
fielder,
and there's 2 away for
Griffin
Griffin Schneider.
Schneider.
Now no one on base for the powerful left-handed hitter. Actually, there is a runner on base. It's Jacob Cruz. He stands at second. 0-1 count now to Schneider, who's 0 for 2 on the day, but he walked and scored back in the fourth. Fastball missing outside, count 1-1. Cruz has decent speed on the base pass, more than you expect from a power guy. And a 1-1 count facing it. McCabe deals, hammered down the left field line and in there for the base hit. Cruz is chugging home around third. The throw from Rutledge is not in time as Jacob Cruz stands up with a run scored, and it's 8-3 in favor of the Bombers now.
Jacob Cruz looking like Forrest Gump out there. He needed a parachute as he crossed home plate, man. He ran all the way past the dugout. He's like, look at me, guys, I can fly.
He ran into the dugout.
Yeah. Wow.
Just hard chugging from Jacob Cruz. Great wheels coming home and standing up on what could have been a close play, and it's an RBI for Schneider, just his 3rd of the season.
All jokes aside, though, really, Cruz, a guy that he's just built that way. I mean, this dude just hustles on everything. We've seen a lot of balls as this one runs in and hits Caulfield. We've seen a lot of high pop-ups on the infield that most guys will just dog. You know, they'll just jog out of the batter's box. And Cruz, he is running hard every time out of the box and on the base pass.
And running back to the dugouts is really everyone, as the inning's going to roll over. 2 runs home for the Bombers. 2nd inning rolled over they've had. And last licks coming up for the A's. They trail 8-3. So we're back in, and it's still a save situation for Tara Oka as the pitcher, Eddie McCabe, lines one to Keyshawn Clark. Great beat on the ball. Quick first out. And Tara Oka has just done his job as McCabe is retired quickly. And that will bring up
Now batting for the A's, shortstop, number 8.
Defensive switch for the Bombers. Andrew Caulfield is behind the plate doing some catching, given a legs of Felix Aberrett a rest, but he will play over at first base as the first pitch to Ushery is a strike. 0-1 the count, another curveball, and that has been working so well for Tara Oka since he came in the game. He's already ahead 0-2 on Ushery. The 0-2 pitch, wave and a whiff, strike 3. 3 straight curves from Tara Oka, and that sends Ushery packing, and the A's are down to their final batter.
Like to get a clean inning here from Tara Oka. Does such a good job of just knowing his role, coming in and pounding his own, and he's done a good job his last couple of batters.
Now the first pitch to Chaplin is in there for strike 1. You say Tara Oka absolutely pounding the zone, as you said, Mitch. And Chaplin already a strikeout victim today. That one is chopped over down the third base side and fell. Doherty was on the run there. So 0-2 the count, and Chaplin and the A's down to their final strike. Tara Oka working quickly. Here's a curveball just missing the outside corner. That looked like a bender to be the ender, but it was not to be. 1-2 pitch. Fastball fouled, maybe that hit off of Chaplin when he fouled that off. Count remains 0-2. Colton Traeger in the on-deck circle, looking frustrated as if he really wants a chance to hit. As Chaplin trying to extend this game for the A's. 1-2 pitch from Tara Oka. Curveball driven deep into left field, but an easier run for Griffin Schneider, who makes a two-handed grab to end off the inning. So the Bombers explode for 4 runs in the 4th and just cruise from there. 2 more in the 5th, 2 more in the 7th. Give you the 8-3 game that you see in the 11th victory of the season.
And that's the ball game.
Really been a dropping down to
7 hits, no errors. So the A's, 3 runs on 8 hits and 1 error.
11-3. They're pretty much a lock for that.
The California Little League will be back in action tomorrow. It's at 10 a.m. at 12:30 p.m.
Top seed
Thank you all so much for another great game.
So
And we will see you all back here tomorrow for more
it's a
California
good
Little League
games all
action.
around, but Tara Oka and that curveball at the end really impressed me.
Yeah, came in and he always knows his role, Tara Oka, whether he's at the top of the order in center field. He knows his job there is to just get on base, not do anything too fancy, not overswing. And when he's in the pitching role, he knows that he's going to be coming out of the bullpen, and he knows that he just needs to deliver strikes, which he does ever so consistently right down there right now, laughing around with his friends and teammates, and he just knows his role, whether it's offensive or on the mound, does it to a T. He gets a couple of strikeouts here today as well with that breaking ball, and the A's just continuing to struggle. They're now 2-12 on the season. The Bombers in first place, and the A's in dead last. The A's got some good starting, at least in the first 2 innings on the hill. That was coming by the way of Kevin Lennick and Kyle Johnson. So that was pretty fun for us to watch those guys do their thing on the mound through the first 3 innings of work. But overall, just too little, too late, not enough in general from them offensively as their woes continue to struggle in that department. Good job from Lennick and Johnson, but an even better job from the Bombers offensively and on the mound as well.
So the win will go to Kevin Curley. He got up 3 runs on 8 hits in his first 3 innings, 4 strikeouts for him. The loss is going to go to Ben West, who was the pitcher during that 4th inning, where the Bombers exploded for 4 runs, took the lead, and never gave it up. That 5-out save will go to Yusei Tara Oka. He faced 5 batters and got them all out after coming in on a bases-loaded jam. I'd say he's my choice for player of the game, but plenty to choose from for the Bombers. They had a couple of guys who hit the ball really well. A double and 2 walks from Jacob Cruz. A 2-for-4 day for Brett Donovan with a double and 2 runs scored. A 2 RBI double from Felix Aberrett comes to mind as well. And just the Bombers showing how complete a team they are once again.
Yeah, and they're going to make a run here at the championship game, likely between them and the Power. At least that's how I see it playing out. You never know, a lot can happen on a baseball field, but they are the most complete team. They showed some good defense today, too, from Clifford Pratt at the shortstop position, who's kind of solidified his spot there. Malcolm Smith plays a good center field. Griffin Schneider has been good in left. They just get good production top to bottom. They get a hustle guy in Cruz, who's also very talented at the plate. Aberrett, talented overall. They're just a really complete team, and they have everything working. They bring the same energy every day. They don't take anything off. They don't take at-bats off. They don't take pitching, working through innings. They don't take that off. So they don't take things for granted. They hustle. They make the little plays, and they do everything right. And they make baseball look easy. That's how it should be. And they continue their offensive prowess and their all-around prowess as we move along here in the Cal Winter League.
We'll continue to move on as we wind closer and closer to the playoffs here. The Canada A's will face off against the Alberta Grizzly tomorrow at 10 a.m. Pacific time, followed up by the Chill and the Jacks. Half an hour after that one ends, likely at 12:30. Second to last day of the regular season tomorrow before the Commissioner's Cup and the quarterfinals, the playoffs, on Saturday, February 12th. For Mitch Glessner, I'm Josh Sperber. Please join us again tomorrow as the rest of the regular season and playoff games will all be broadcasted right here on YouTube Live. Once again, I'm Josh Sperber. I want to thank you all for tuning in and hope you guys enjoy